Thank you. Good morning. As you've heard, my name's Edward Kinyua. I'm the Director in charge of Petroleum and Gas. I'm here to represent my Director General, who could not be with us, and it's a pleasure. So, PS, the Chief Guest, the Chair, Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya, Mr. Martin Chomba, the CEO of POAC, Mr. John Jogu, and the convener of today's conference, the KEPSA Director and the CEO of Current Technologies, Engineer James Mwangi, all invited guests, all protocols observed. Good morning. I would like first to start by thanking POAC. I think we've come a long way with POAC, beginning some years back when we had some wars in the industry where the big boys, the medium boys, and the small boys, in quotes, were fighting. And that led to the establishment of POAC because the local indigenous companies wanted to make a mark in the industry and pronounce themselves that they could set the same standards that were being set by multinationals. And I have to thank them for that, because convincing Martin Chomba's group that you need to have a proper retail station to avoid petroleum from percolating into the groundwater and the soil was a big task, because Martin and his people were driven by profits until they realized, oh, we have to distribute these products sustainably. And I have to thank you for that. I think the last conference, the first conference I attended by POAC was on 8th of December, 2022, if I got the date right, and it was a great success. And this is another conference which is also a bigger success. I think we've gone through the booths, and you've seen the kind of suppliers they have attracted. People who are supplying pumps, people who are supplying tanks. And that, to me as a regulator, it gives me confidence that we will continue supplying and selling these products while observing the highest levels of safety, while safeguarding our environment, which is a big yardstick when it comes to regulation. You'll allow me also to thank Bwana PS. I think the PS has done exemplary well in setting policy. I think when the PS came to the industry, there were many problems in 2022. And PS, I have to thank you. The speed at which you learned this industry, today when you speak, sometimes I take a step and say, is this my PS, or you have learned the industry very fast, you understand the technology side, you understand the money side, and you're able to balance that policy and make us now as a regulator come in with a stick, produce regulations, and make sure everybody toes the line. Our mandate as a regulator is to undertake technical and economic regulation of the sector. So basically, we work with other stakeholders like Kenya Bureau of Standards, the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health Services, NEMA, to be able to ensure that whenever we give a license, safety has been observed. Whenever we give a construction permit, you are within the environmental laws, the safety laws, and also the standards that we have as a country. Let me say that this Expo has come in at a very timely point when we are talking about transition, and we are also seeing a lot of technological advancements. My first time when I visited Ghana, I was taken to a control room, and it was a big challenge. I visited my counterparts in Ghana. They are called the National Petroleum Authority. And they took me to a place that looked like a studio within their premises. And I was wondering, why would a regulator have a studio within their premises? And I could see young people who just came from university, working there 24 hours. It's a proper control room. They can be able to see all the stations in the country and the fuel levels. Then there's another section where they have a team monitoring all the tankers, whether they are within the boundaries of Ghana or outside Ghana. And those guys are very tough, Mr. Mohammed. they have geofenced certain areas. So when a truck tries to go to a particular area, there's an alarm that comes, there's a guy in charge, and he calls the driver, what are you doing there? So the aspect of adulteration has gone off, fuel siphoning, speeding. When they see the trucks are doing harsh braking, they call the driver, what are you doing? Or when they see the driver is like, the driving behavior is erratic, they know this one can cause an accident. It's a 24-hour manned control room. I thank God we've just gone through here and I've seen there's technological solutions which can help me get there. And I can tell you, Mohammed, I'm getting there. I think that's the only way we can be able to avoid accidents. We've had quite a number of truck accidents. We've had stations having fires. But I thank God in the last like 12 months, no station has burned down. I think there's only one that burned down in Kawangware, an informal station. But I think that's a great improvement from where we came from. But what I'm saying is that technology has advanced. You can be able to monitor all this data from the comfort of your room. And I think we'll work hand in hand with POAC to ensure that we streamline the industry in terms of data reporting, in terms of accidents reporting, and many other things. I think we work hand in hand with POAC. Even when we develop regulations, they now have a voice on the table. Initially, they were coming as different people with no voice. And they have a big voice. They can be able to give a very deep voice and say, this is how the industry is saying. And I can give you a good example. I think in terms of forecourt management system, POAC could be having one of the best forecourt management systems. So we can all learn from POAC. And I'm also leaning back to learn from them to see whether I can duplicate that across the entire industry. In terms of regulations, because that's one of our other core jobs, we have the LPG regulations, the draft regulations, which are now sitting with the Attorney General. I believe they have been cleared, and we are waiting for them to be gazetted soon. Why do I bring LPG regulations? Because I was out here, I saw autogas. These are the regulations that have a whole section on autogas. They have LPG for schools. I know my PS is very passionate about that. I think he'll speak about it. And then we have LPG smart meters. There are those people who are distributing gas using smart meters. We have auto taken into account. Reticulation, and also, more importantly, I think Engineer James Mwangi might be laughing, smiling at this. We've had a lot of quacks in this industry who are doing installation even of reticulated units using substandard material, exposing our consumers to dangers that come with the substandard material. So we will be licensing installers and contractors going forward. So once they are gazetted, we'll start now, just like in the electricity sector, where we do license contractors and electrical workers. Now, anybody installing LPG in a school, especially for schools, our kids are learning in these schools. If today you are seated here and you saw an SMS come from your kid's school, there's a problem, I'm sure all of you will jump out, because kids are sacred and they are gifts from God. So we have to protect them with our life. So me as a regulator, I've said, if you are not qualified, you will not install an LPG tank in school, because I don't want to sleep and then I'm woken up at 2 a.m. like it happened when Muradi happened. I'm told there's a fire somewhere. So we need to tighten up that space. We are also doing other regulations, which with the help of the PS, we have been able to approve them. So we have the retail licensing regulations. This is of interest to you because we are also allowing hybrid stations, the one which has normal fuels, the one has autogas, and we also have an autogas pure station there. And then we have common user facilities for depots, transport regulations, quality management. We have business licensing, and then statistics. That's in addition to LPG. So in the next 2 or so weeks, you might find like 8 regulations being gazetted. They have been cleared already, and I think that's very good progress. With the help of the PS, the policy maker, I think doing 8 regulations is not a joke. So I think we clap for ourselves. Thank you. So lastly, because I don't want to belabor a lot, you've heard about accidents, and these accidents are not only in petroleum. You know, electricity sector, is a bit quiet because once electrocution happens, sometimes they are not reported. But I can tell you we are losing more people in the energy sector more than what we are losing in petroleum. It's only that the scale of an accident that happens in petroleum is much bigger. But now we have a campaign called Car Safe Mtaani, which was launched. PS was there with the help of the CS on 15th of April 2025. And basically we are looking at educating the masses on the safe use of these products. We are going to the level of vernacular languages because we know there are a lot of people who are using gas cylinders in Kirinyaga, in West Pokot, in Nyanza region, who don't really understand the things that we discuss here in English. We tell them vapor cloud explosion, Engineer Mwangi. They don't understand those things. Yeah, najua gas imelik, what do I do? And that's why we've given it a local slang. It's called Car Safe Mtaani. So we want to educate people about electrical wiring. We want to educate people about the use of licensed electrical workers. How do you check your cylinders when you go by them? Then when you are walking on the streets and there's an explosion, what do you do? When you see an LPG tanker, a fuel tank has overturned, what do you do? So those are the things we are doing, and this is the version, the second version. We had done the first version, which was very successful, and actually it even got an award. And I believe this one will do it even in a more detailed fashion. And we are looking for your collaboration. I think we had a prior meeting prior to our launch of the campaign where we got commitment from all stakeholders. And since maybe some of you are not there, today, Mr. Njogu, I want you to give our commitment that you will support us through POAC with Martin here and the entire stakeholders group that is here, that you support us in ensuring that we reduce accidents. When a death happens, nobody is happy. So we don't look forward to having deaths. In fact, sometimes when you hear an accident has happened, the first thing you ask, was there a fatality? And I know Mohammed is privy to that because he's in the transport industry. I think I'll end it there so that I'm not the chief guest. We have a chief guest, our PS. He can be able to give us more wisdom. And it's now my humble pleasure to request you to stand up as we will welcome our chief guest with a clap, a heavy clap. One. I'll do it the Nyayo style. Karibu. Karibu. Thank you. I see you are not Gen Zs. You're all born you are there in the 90s. Thank you.